There's definitely some areas I think we got better. The first two drives of the game were better. If you take we had another touchdown call back 2 weeks in a row. That's no good. You don't ever want to have to score them twice. But we did. I think we were 4-4 on our first 4 third downs. So no secret that we scored 2 touchdowns on those 2 drives. So we converted there early on better and got off to a better start. But overall, the number one thing that sticks out is just as a whole on all the little things, the discipline. I mean, we can't beat ourselves. We're definitely not good enough to do that. And I think we had 5 penalties alone on offense. Several holding calls that called back either big gains or called back a touchdown. Set us in some really tough situations. And then we had the 1 turnover. We also had 3 balls on the ground. We only lost 1 of them, but we had 3 fumbles. And that's what we preach from day one. It's simple. We talk about it over and over again, but at some point it's got to become a habit. It's got to become important to everybody that football is the most important thing we got. We can't put our defense in those situations. They were fortunate to bail us out this time the other night, but and then penalties, we're not good enough to go backwards to get forward. And so those are the 2 things that if we want to win as we get into league play, we know, you make a long run, get the ball down on the 8, all of a sudden you're back on the 40. You can't overcome those things very often. So we got to clean all that up.
Rhett, what was the awful lot of holding penalties? Was there something y'all were doing that you hadn't done before?
No. The bottom line is, some are obvious and some are close, but we teach our guys, hey, we even coach off the plays they don't call penalties on us. I mean, if we have a play where they didn't call it on a wide, but man, he grabbed some jersey they could have, we point that out to our guys and we have accountabilities for it. Same thing with the linemen, and because there's plenty of times that they don't call it that they could, and so sometimes they call it and you never know. But no, we were just we were getting outside the framework of the body. We were grabbing some jersey at the end, little things that you got to know. I mean, there's plenty of times in that game where a guy was blocking and is about to lose his man, he let go because he knows that. But those are things that got to be second nature in the heat of the moment, because a 12-yard gain without a penalty is much better than a 50-yarder that's coming back because I held somebody. And then some of it's fundamentally getting in a better body position where I don't have to hold. But it doesn't matter how or why. I mean, 2 games in a row now, I think we've had 4 or 5 penalties on offense. We've had a touchdown called back in both games on offense, and so that alone is no good. We'll get beat if we do that very often.
We're only a couple of games in, but do you feel like you're starting to find an identity for this offense?
A little bit. We're learning more and more about our guys. I think we're learning more and more about which guys are good at and what they're not. And I do think as a whole we saw improvement in game 2 from game 1. In some areas, not to the level we'd want. We did play 2 pretty good opponents. I think you saw Washington State beat USC on the road last night, and that Arkansas State bunch has won 2 in a row and got a chance to win 3 in a row in that conference. They play hard, but we know we're walking into Mississippi State and getting into conference play, the stakes go up in our league, and so we've got to continue to accelerate and get better each week, which is kind of what we told our guys when we started. We said we want to get better each practice, each game, and but that learning curve's got to keep going up.
I think Joel pointed this out. That first drive, you had 4 different receivers catching passes. None of them caught passes in the first game. Just good to see that flexibility. You guys step up.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care if one guy catches 10 balls or 10 guys each all catch 1 ball. Sometimes it's dictated on the quarterback's read where he goes with the ball and who gets the football. Sometimes there's certain guys you're trying to get matched up in certain situations. I think it's good to spread it around. I think it makes the defense honor everybody and know that we got playmakers and guys that can catch the ball and do things with it all over the place. So that was good. I didn't know that necessarily we had done that before, guys that didn't have a catch in the first game, but that's good. And we got to have guys everywhere. If we put them in the game, we believe in them. So.
What was your evaluation of Nick in this game?
I thought he started out really well. I think his first 3 or 4 passes were completed. Like I said, we were 4 of 4 on our first 4 third downs. I think 3 of them were passes. He made a great throw on the 3rd and 16 for a touchdown. And what I liked most about that is the play before, I think he could have held the ball maybe a split set longer and we'd have hit Sammy for a touchdown. Came back and made a great throw, and Marcus made a great catch. We hit one of the deep balls. Another one he had to turn loose a little bit earlier than he wanted to. But early on I thought he was clicking a lot better. And then as the game went on, we had some ups and downs. But as a whole, I think he felt more comfortable. And that's going to have to continue moving forward because we're going to have to make a lot of plays in the passing game as well in conference play.
How much of the offense are you letting him work with? I mean, if you have a percentile, can you kind of break that down? How much, because he doesn't really even know, he's just working with what y'all give him, so.
Right.
How much?
You know, and I don't even know. I mean, because I don't think of it, and this is what we got in, this is what we don't. I mean, we carry, you know, we game plan each week, and we say, hey, this is what we think we need to beat this team, and we go out and see what we can handle. And this would be no matter who our quarterback was. If we thought there were some things after Tuesday's practice that was too much, we'd cut back. And we kind of do that every week. So we have not consciously said, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that. We've, you know, maybe kept in mind his strengths and other guys' strengths and what we decide to do. But, you know, I get asked that every week. I really don't know a percentage. I know that we walk into a game, we feel like we've got enough in our arsenal to win the football game.
With the new comfort level, just how much is that due to the practice week before? A lot of guys mentioned how he looked better in practice week before from week 1 to week 2. How much did that help, you know?
I think a lot. I mean, more times than not, if you practice well as a person or as a team, you play better. I thought Tuesday and Wednesday last week we had good practices. Thursday, not so much. Well, it showed the game. We started out well, kind of hit some rock spots, then we finished well. You know, and he did have a better week last week because I think he was more comfortable getting that first game out of the way. Has to give anybody some confidence. So, you know, that's got to keep happening each week, there's no doubt.
What do you think Jonathan Wallace gives you in the package you guys kind of put in the game?
Yeah, well, Jonathan's somebody we can trust, and we try to find ways to keep him very involved. You know, I think he's got a good role with our offense, and so there's always going to be times week to week where we try to use him. It may be the same each week, it may be different each week, and so we just that's kind of a week to week deal. But he's a guy. He's a strong runner. He's smart. He's tough. He's going to make good decisions, whether it's throwing the ball or in read game and kind of stuff like that. So we just try to find ways to plug him in when it's advantageous for us.
Is there any thought of Jeremy in the package, anything like that?
You know, that's always a possibility. We haven't ruled anything out, but at this point, we don't have one. You know, we're taking it game by game. Nick's our guy, and Jonathan has played in both games now. And, you know, we feel like that was always kind of part of the plan. Some games maybe more so than others.
The Jordan Diamond, first time he ever played college football. Sean Coleman, first time.
Yeah.
How'd they do?
It was good. It was good to see them get out there and get that experience. I know both of them were kind of pretty excited about it after the game. And, you know, and they got in some meaningful drives. I mean, they had, I think we scored 7 or 10 points when they were in the ball game. And so that's good because, like I said, we're about to get into that physical grind that you're going to need everybody that can possibly be ready to play, whether it's, you know, for a whole game at some point or for games, or whether it's a deal when Reese's helmet comes off, Tunde has to jump in. I mean, you always got to have those guys ready, so the more experience in a real situation they can have, the better.
Rhett, for Sean in particular, did you notice his teammates being excited about seeing him out there after everything he's been through?
You know, in the moment, I didn't notice anything different. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even think of the fact that Sean had never played when that happened. But I could tell in the locker room after the game, they were all pretty excited for him. And well, that's a neat story when you go through something like that and you overcome it. And I think that's just, at that point for the kid, it's just a realization of, wow, I made it back to this point. And now that's out of the way, and he can focus on becoming a great football player because I think he can be.
How did Avery go first time this year?
Avery did well. Avery did well. He's getting, I mean, he's gotten better and better each week. It's one of those deals where, like I said before, he didn't go through spring. And so I think now you're starting to see he's really starting to feel comfortable with the offense and all the calls up front and all that. So he did really well. We're going to have to be able to count on him, too, down the road.
You saw more up-tempo this last game, obviously, they were comfortable with the offense. What did you see? How do you grade kind of their performance when you were actually doing the up-tempo, getting the ball in and out?
Wasn't fast enough. We worked on that tonight. We weren't fast enough. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Now, we were better. We had more opportunities because we were somewhat at times moving the ball a little more consistently. We still had that same lull in the second quarter where I think we had 2 3-and-outs, and then we had like a one or two play drive touchdown that kept our defense on the field too long. And some, like I said, some of it's us not executing, some of it's we, I guess, executed too well. But you know, we had more opportunities to go fast, especially in the second half when we felt like we could wear them down, and we did. But to our standard, we got to be even better and cleaner with getting lined up, getting set quicker, getting ready to roll. And we realize that some of that's dictated on how fast the officials get the ball spot and get out of the way. But we want our guys moving even quicker.
Right, to that end, it's the second week in a row where Nick goes over like 15 minutes without completing or attempting a pass. When you're dealing with a newer quarterback, what is the challenge when early on they have that lull and they're not even having the opportunity to do that early in the game?
There's no doubt. I mean, they're like anyone else. You know, if you're a golfer, you like to be loose when you're hitting golf balls. I mean, when you sit for a while, it's easy to get out of rhythm or to stow up. That's why if you got to throw some on the side and all that, that you can do that. But I felt like early on he felt comfortable, and then you have that lull. Whether it's good or bad reasons doesn't matter. But as a player, those things happen. You got to be able to overcome it, and that can affect you.